Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird, true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 579, written by aidmcy. The extra-dimensional entities stole my food. So I was in my house alone with my sister, and we decided to order in some takeaway food. She decided not to have anything, but I was still hungry, so I ordered myself some extra food for the next day. The food arrives like normal, and I go up to my bedroom and eat it. I don't use a plate, but I use the bag it came in. After a while, I've eaten enough food, as much as I can, and placed the bags of extra food on my desk, right beside my bed. I go up to the bathroom and talk to my sister about something, and when I return to my room, the bag of food is gone. I laughed to myself, thinking my sister must have come in and taken some food or have put it away somewhere in the kitchen. But no, she hasn't moved since I had the food and has no idea where it is. I ask her a few more times and she continues to tell me that she doesn't know where the food is. After this, I go into my bedroom and look everywhere. Under the desk, under the bed, in every drawer that I know it couldn't be in, but it's nowhere. So now it's been a few months and I never found a bag of missing takeaway in my bedroom. My bedroom is very small, it doesn't even have a wardrobe. So now I live in fear that a bag of food is rotting in my room somewhere that I just cannot see or even smell. All the windows and the door in my room were closed, and I definitely did not move the bag from the desk before leaving the room. So it just vanished or glitched out of existence. Case file number 580, written by Jasonpowerz, when 5 people vanish without a trace. So I should start by saying that I'm a healthy, sane, 18-year-old male. I've never had hallucinations or been seriously sick in my life. I've also never been known to black out or take micro naps. My mother has schizophrenia, but as far as I know, it was pretty mild and I've never shown symptoms of it. With that out of the way, here's what happened. So I was hanging out with my significant other before they went to class, college, and before I had to go to work. We parted ways and I got on the bus to go home to get ready. I got on the bus with 5 other people and I sat in the back as I usually do, so all 5 were in front of me. I looked down to check my phone when the bus started to move, so I could check the route because I'm a nervous person and I wanted to make sure I was on the right route. I was. I looked up after maybe 30 seconds, and I'm absolutely sure the bus hadn't stopped to let anyone off. Somehow though, all 5 people I got on with were just gone. The only people on the bus were me and the driver. It freaked me out a good bit because the next bus stop was still up ahead, so there's no way the bus stopped and just let people off in the middle of the street. I checked my phone again to get my mind off of it, and then suddenly the bus turned into a different street, which is weird since the route had no turns. It was a straight line. I'm very much into horror, so my immediate thought was, crap, I guess I'm going to hell? I signaled that I wanted to get off though, and the driver let me off without saying anything. I've been thinking about this all day, and I still have no idea what could have happened there. I know this isn't really as creepy as some other stories on here, but this genuinely did scare me, and I needed to talk about it. Bonus file, written by Inafray 19, Dreams More Dangerous Than Hell Itself. I'll preface this by saying I've had paranormal experiences my whole life, as has my brother, dad, and his mom. My grandparents bought land back in the mid-60s and built their house there, one of the first houses on this country road, and one of the first 100 in the area. At the turn of the century, the area was a large deer hunting lodge. I've never fully felt comfy at my grandparents' house. I was always afraid to walk down the hallway to the bedrooms, and as far as I can remember, have only ever done it with the lights on. I never felt comfy in the boys' room after dark. When I was little and stayed with them, I could only sleep in the girls' room with the nightstand light on, the door open, and the bathroom light on, illuminating the hallway. In 2008, when the market crashed, we had to move in with them for a year. My parents took the girls' room, and my brother and I took the boys' room. My brother slept on the bed, and I slept on the trundle. When my brother was home for the night, I slept just fine, but when he was gone, I would have to sleep with the cabinet lighting on. So my brother moved out before the rest of us. I decided to move to the main bed as it was more comfy. One night I finally said, I'm just being a baby with the light. I'm going to turn it off tonight and I bet I'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, that was a mistake. I turn the lights off, hunker down, and fall asleep. At one point I feel like I wake up and there's someone in the room with me. I'm laying flat on my back. I turn my head and this little boy, maybe 8-ish, is sitting on the chair across the room. He's wearing knickers and what I would describe as 1920s to 1930s clothing. We start talking, kind of like you would if you encountered a child alone at the park. Hello there, what's your name? What are you doing here? It's pretty innocent. Then the boy's demeanor changes. He asks me why I killed him. I'm shocked and I say, I didn't kill you. He insists, I insist. Then he stands up and starts slowly walking towards me, telling me I was his nanny and I drowned him and hid his body. I kept insisting that was not me. I've never killed anyone and also never been a nanny. This happens while he slowly crosses the 4 feet to my bed. I'm still laying flat on my back, scared silly at how insistent he was, how malicious he seems, and him coming close to me. Then he climbs on the bed, straddles my body, leans in close to my face and says, You deserve this for killing me. He wraps his hands around my throat and starts strangling me while telling me over and over that I killed him. At this point, my brain said that I'm not awake. I'm still asleep. I need to open my eyes. Then I'm screaming in my head, Open your eyes! It was super hard. I could not get my eyes to open. I'm struggling for breath from being strangled while being told I killed this boy. Then it clicks in my brain that if I cannot open my eyes, I need to wake myself up in another way and start trying to move any part of my body. I feel like I'm laying still but also rocking side to side, trying to make my voice work, anything. The rocking finally worked and my eyes opened for real. I sit bolt upright in bed, reach up and flick the lights on. I'm sitting on the bed, hyperventilating, freaking out. Once I calm down enough to lay back down, I try closing my eyes and I can see the boy sitting back in the chair, just smiling the most sinister smile at me. I ended up staying awake the rest of the night. When I finally got up to go to the bathroom, I had a faint red mark around my throat. I never slept with the light off again and moved out as quickly as I could afford. My dad, who grew up in that house, has night terrors. He says a demon is trying to get him, that he wakes up and they come at him while he's laying in bed. My entire life I've been woken in the middle of the night to my dad screaming. My mom tells me how he starts rocking side to side or flinging his arms out, then sits bolt upright, screaming. I now know exactly what he means. I understand the rolling side to side and the trying to scream yourself awake. I've never experienced anything in my life as scary as that little boy. Even having my own child disappear at a park and frantically trying to find him for 20 minutes was not as scary as that little boy. Since moving out, I have not been back to that house nor slept in it. I have never experienced anything remotely close to this before or since. Case notes, bonus file. So a point here, would a spirit confuse you, a random person decades older and separated in facial features, for his nanny who drowned him? Doubtful. My gut here, especially given that your father was also being tormented, presumably not by the same scenario as you, but by the same entity, is this is indeed some malevolent force. I don't think it's a kid that died, a demon perhaps, or a poltergeist. Not only to physically cause you harm, but even implant psychological torture by trying to make you feel guilty over the death of a child. Also, initially I thought this could be sleep paralysis, but it doesn't fit on the second passing. The first problem is in sleep paralysis, you're consciously awake and aware of your body in the real world, unable to move, not still within the realm of a dream but aware of the dream. That would be more like lucid dreaming or lucid nightmaring, and it would be induced by this entity. And if it was sleep paralysis, you wouldn't have had markings around your neck. You couldn't have strangled yourself if you were paralyzed.